Take a look at this. So it's the Browns' interior offensive line, and they struggled dramatically after switching schemes. So the 2023 PFF run grades: Teller 74.0, Posick 68, Bitonio 60.8. 2024, Teller 61.9, Posick 63.7. Those are Teller's worst since 2019, Posick's worst since 2020, Bitonio a career worst 59.6. So I guess the question I have, Spencer, was it what they were asking these guys to do, or did these guys just get old? It's got to be, I guess it could be a combination. One has to factor into it more than the other, though.
I wonder if for Batonio, it's maybe some of the latter, like he's just kind of a player getting into his mid-30s, and he's played that position for a long time. He's been in this league for a long time. He's obviously just got from upgraded to going to the Pro Bowl for a 7th straight time, so still playing at a high level, but maybe just not quite as high as he was early in his career. Because I kind of I saw the grades there, and I was like, I wonder if 60.8 was his lowest before this past year. So that kind of indicates like maybe there's a little bit of a step back year by year for him. But I think just in general, like you go back and listen to what players were saying in the locker room after the game or after the season rather, and talking about, it was Jack Conklin who made the comment about how, you build around one person, one player, it doesn't work. You got to create your own identity and what works for us. And we know what that was. Like what worked for them was that Kevin Stefanski outside zone play action offense. And so going back to that is obviously it feels like that's the priority this offseason. It seems like that's what they're trying to do. And that's probably for the best for this group. Like you come in, you establish for several years that you have this really good strength up front on the offensive line. And you kind of ingrain in them certain philosophies, certain things that you want to do. Bill Callahan being at the front of that as the former O-line coach. And then you just pivot to, well, now we're doing this different offense where the quarterback likes to improvise more and we're going to do RPO stuff and it's just not going to be the same. And guys throughout the season kept saying like you start to pass so much and that becomes the focal point. And then you try to go back to running the football and you're just not really used to doing that anymore. And so it all just didn't work. It all just didn't mesh together. And so, yeah, I think there's certainly something to be said for the change in system, the change in scheme having a major impact on that group as a whole, regressing this past season. And that's why I do think like getting back to what Stefanski's offense kind of calls for, those principles and philosophies is going to mean this. I don't know this offensive line necessarily goes back to being as elite as they were a couple years ago, but I do think like it plays more into their strengths and you have a better chance of being successful with that group if you make that call and you go back to it because last year just did not work.